This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Well, then cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
Wow, you guys. Hold on, I'm actually thirsty.
Yeah, what are these? They taste delicious. It looks beautiful.
This is, you know what I did this morning?
I don't.
Well, here's what I did. I was going to go on a hike with my friend Melissa, and I was like very like inspired to do it. You know, I'm trying to be more active and also active while like seeing friends, etc. So I kept having to push the time for the hike, but I had already scheduled Mary to come walk the dogs. So I had to do the thing where I was like, I've got an hour till I need to go across town, but I need to get out of this house or Mary's going to torch the place for canceling on her. Literally. I mean, like... I was like maybe going out of town this weekend to write. Yeah. And then I had to cancel that on Mary. She sent me literally like an angry fire emoji.
She can't take it.
That said, I said, sorry, my friend canceled on me. She said, kick her ass.
Mary gets into tattoos and has no time for bullshit cancellations.
None. So I was like, I will do. So I was like, the last thing I'm going to do is be like, I don't need you anymore, Mary. I'll walk the dogs myself. You know? So I was like, I got to go hide out at a coffee shop.
I love you. Rearranged your day to accommodate Mary
1,000%
and her emotional needs with the dogs.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And so I just went up there to the coffee shop around the corner from me, and I realized it's the first time I've like worked in a coffee shop post-pandemic.
Oh, really?
It was so crazy. Like
I feel like you've gone to coffee. No, maybe diners, I'm thinking.
Well, I've like, you know, maybe pulled out my laptop, like going to get lunch or something.
Yeah.
But as far as like going to a coffee shop in my neighborhood with the sole reason to like have a coffee and write, I hadn't done.
And the underlying reason to let a grown woman spend time with your dogs.
So maybe not the sole reason, maybe the reason for my soul. But so anyway, I was up there and I had my coffee, and then I knew she was still home, and I had to come back home.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you want anything? She was like, a mocha, no added sugar. And I'm like, you know, a mocha is chocolate.
Yeah, it's a big adult chocolate milk.
Killed me. No added sugar. I was like, sure thing. But then they had these like CBD drinks. So it's like a strawberry lavender CBD tea.
It's great.
A CBT.
Big fan.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the story behind it.
Love it. I mean, if you gave me a bunch of guesses on how you got these drinks, that would not have been what I guessed.
Well, because here's the deal. As I went up there, I was like, I'm not just going to, I have to establish that the mocha's not for me.
Yeah.
I like fully double checked my phone and was like, you know, and does this make sense? No sugar added? They were like, no, it doesn't. I was like, okay, it's for my friend. Just do it how you normally do it.
Does ordering a mocha, is that bad? Is that frowned upon?
I feel like ordering a mocha, no offense to our mocha listeners. I feel like ordering a mocha is like something you would do when you would go to like Barnes and Noble at 15 before you drank coffee.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll have a mocha.
It has no coffee in it?
I think it's I think it's espresso, but there's also chocolate, I think.
Okay, so it's got caffeine in it.
It does, but it just feels very much like...
Yeah, like a big sweet.
Yeah, like someone being like, I'm a YouTuber who just tries out Starbucks stuff.
Yeah, pink drinks.
Mocha. What's in mocha?
This is how we learn.
Or maybe mocha is just the chocolate and then, you know, it's espresso. There's a little espresso, I think. So anyway, that's the story.
Honestly, it sounds great. I'm now considering becoming a mocha drinker.
Grace!
I love chocolate.
This is where we separate.
I know. I love chocolate. I love caffeine. I've never thought of having them together. Now I'm considering it.
I could see you making coffee drinks where you just fully like froth icing.
I mean, I used to just put whipped cream on top, and then
you got me into that,
right? And that not trashy or childish at all.
Well, here's the deal. I got back into it when I was in North Carolina this year, just as like a treat.
Yeah,
you know, like I never do whipped cream or buy really desserts unless I'm not drinking.
Yeah,
and I would be like, oh, well, that's like a nice like fall special pumpkin whipped cream. Ooh. I'm gonna go Grace Helbig. I think I might have even tagged you on Instagram. I was like, I'm gonna go OG Grace Helbig and put whipped cream on my coffee.
I mean, I gotta get back into it. I haven't bought whipped cream in so long.
That won't do it all. I mean,
Mercury's out of retrograde. Let's fucking do this.
Okay, when did it pop back out? Because
sometime last week, and I wrote about this on our Patreon. It is out of retrograde.
I love your posts on Patreon.
I'm loving doing it. Every Friday I do a little blog post up there.
It's so good.
It's just random musings and usually stuff that I've written in notes to talk about on the podcast, but doesn't really make sense without visuals. So I put it on our Patreon. And Mercury's out of retrograde, which it was in at the start of this year. So if anyone was feeling all wacky about not being able to commit to their resolutions or what have you, it was probably Mercury.
You know what? I'm going to say, you know how we do Critter Corner?
Yeah.
I feel like we need like Graceology. Something where, because I love when you pop in and you're like, by the way, this is the time to seize the day, or like, don't make any big decisions. Like, I like you let me know.
All I read are like pop astrology articles about it on like Refinery 29 or Aliza Kelly. I'm a huge fan of her. Go follow her on TikTok or Instagram. And she does she's an astrologer and she's just very cool. And she makes very funny memes about astrology too.
Okay. So now that we're out of retrograde, what should we be doing?
So we're out of retrograde and apparently none of the planets for a bit of time, I think until maybe a month or two. I'm not sure. So this is why I can't be an astrologist, but none of them are in retrograde. So things are going to start moving in a positive direction. Okay. Opportunities are going to be happening. So maybe it's like your start to the new year officially started.
It was like January 1st was the fall start.
Yeah.
Like it's really now pumping in.
Yeah. And over the weekend, I think we had our new moon on the 21st, which is like intention setting. So like really now's a time to go out and do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, go for it. And,
is doing it cutting bangs?
Yeah,
because I done did it.
For those watching, for those listening, I feel bad for you that you don't get to revel in the beauty that is Mamrie's new bangs.
Look, I've been teasing it on here, and I was just like, I need a goddamn change.
Yeah, I know. We talked about I'm getting my hair cut this Friday.
I know the lob.
I know, and I started to reconsider, but now seeing your bangs, I'm like, I'm going for it.
And like, this isn't the best way to debut them because obviously I have on headphones, and I'm like, I'm still figuring out like, is this the exact length I want? Are they kind of like taper at the sides? Do I want it more straight across? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's tiny little changes to bangs that change them completely. So I'm still figuring out what my bang vibe is.
Okay.
But they're like just long enough I can sweep them to the side if I want to.
Nice.
And I'm like, I went in there with no fear.
I was going to say, did you have any hesitation when you got into the chair?
You know what? Maybe it's a thing with age, or maybe it's just giving up. But I really
can be both.
Jacqueline asked me too, because I went to her house to do it, and she was like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, in the name of my favorite hair salon in like Redneckville, North Carolina.
Yeah,
it's just hair.
It's just hair.
It's just hair.
That's why I was like, what if I freak out about cutting my hair short? And then in my mind, I'm like, it grows. Hair grows.
If people can get face tattoos removed, like your bangs will grow out, honey.
Yeah.
Like, and you wouldn't believe the amount of DMs I got from people saying, I've been on the fence. I'm getting bangs now.
Nice.
So
you're an inspiration.
I don't know if I'm an inspiration or a nuisance to society, because I feel like someone did DM me and goes, "Hey, you called French manicures. I'm getting bangs again."
Uh-oh. If you get both of those things going, you're going to be unstoppable.
Hold on. How's your nail journey?
Oh, and this is not a good week to look at them. They were
retrograde. It was retrograde.
Yeah, they were going so well.
Yeah.
I got influenced by an Instagram ad to buy this at-home kind of nail stuff.
Was it like the gel?
It's like, it's almost like doing your own at-home acrylics, but it's super easy. So I did it. It was super easy. It turned out okay for a first time doing it, but I'm such a nail picker that by yesterday or the day before, I was like already picking it off of my nails.
Because was it a fake nail, or it was like something you can peel?
You
like
could end up peeling it off like an acrylic, but I was getting so like fidgety with it, and they come off after like a week or two, and I just like rushed it, and so it like really damaged my nails a little bit.
No.
So now I'm in damage control, which is all good because it does feel like, I'll start over. I went and bought some actual like nail growth stuff that you put on.
Hey, if you need a mani or a pedi, the feet.
The feet are a totally different story. I haven't looked at the feet because it's still wintertime. Once it starts to get a little bit warmer, I would like to wear some open-toed shoes eventually.
I have a story about Pilates this week, which I will get to. But so, when you're doing Pilates, you're supposed to wear grip socks. You know, so you don't slip when you're like standing on the thing, so you don't slip. And I realized
that's a certain type of sock.
It's just the sock with like the you know, like it's almost like puffy paint on the bottom. So that way, like you're not sliding around.
Yeah.
Right. Because at some points you're going to like have to balance. Right. And if you're wearing regular socks. But so I realized they were all, my pairs were dirty.
Yeah.
So I went with regular socks and then you can go barefoot, and I took off my socks and went, no.
Not worth it.
And so I took a class and was like, at any moment I'm going to eat shit. And they're going to be like, we're not liable. You're not wearing grip socks. Because I was like, I can't have one person in here see what I just did to my big toe.
All for the sake of keeping your feet out of people's vision.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome, people.
I know. It's
too early for that shit.
I do need to think about the feet at some point. That will be another step in the journey of self-care.
We're starting at the top of our head.
We're working our way down. I mean, because every time I go to Florida, everyone just walks around in flip-flops all the time, and every woman and men have their nails done like perfectly, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like the only person walking around here with closed-toe
with full Uggs. Now, how do you feel about men who wear sandals? Or like
Elliot does.
Flops.
Elliot wears flops.
He wears flops outside of Florida?
Not lately because it's cold
Florida?
here. But he'll wear them down in Palm Springs.
Well, I feel like that's a different vibe.
See, I have to give him credit. I don't feel bad about it because it's to me the equivalent of my Jersey showing up in Uggs in everything.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yeah, I wear these little Clydesdale looking shoes that are not sexy to anyone versus him wearing flip-flops that literally make that sound when he walks.
Yeah. He's walking in the flops and it sounds like the horse soundtrack of you in the Uggs. Speaking of, I gave Larry a little spin around the block before you got here.
Yeah.
And a couple stopped me to tell me, I told you this before, to tell me like he walks like a fancy, like a dressage show pony.
He does.
Like he's very regal for being a little, like a little street rat, right?
Yeah.
But then the woman says, and I go, come on, Larry. The woman says, do you remember the commercial? It was for Sit and Sleep, where the president would be like, well, I'll give you a good deal, whatever. And the tagline for all these commercials were just, you're killing me, Larry. Does this ring a bell?
You told me earlier, and it like very vaguely rings a bell.
Is
Sit and Sleep a mattress company?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is weird because like sleep.
Right.
Don't sit on it.
I'm thinking of Sit and Spin, which is an
insult.
The biggest insult a fourth grader could throw at another fourth grader.
Well, I told you, and this I do know I've said here before.
Yeah.
I went to a party once my freshman year of college, and a guy looked at me and said, you have a black heart. and then flipped me off and said, sit and spin.
Yes, we talked about this.
Yes, and I made a comeback, and it's not good enough for me to repeat twice. I left being like, oh, God damn it. I got to be ready next time I'm told to sit and spin like a lazy Susan.
But I think of the toy when we were younger. Because I think what we talked about in relation to Sit and Spin, where it's literally you sit and you spin around.
It's like a one-person merry-go-round.
Yeah, like a one-person teacup.
Yeah, it's like for the parents who didn't want to take you to the park. Yeah, they're like, it's just you sit and spin, buddy.
Oh, you would spin.
So, okay, Grace came over here and we had to start a little late because I was getting additional parts of a couch delivered because now that there's 2 dogs, there's like half an inch for me.
Yeah, I was actually telling my mom is so excited about your new Larry and wishes you the best in your endeavor with him on your own right now. And I was telling her, I was like, yeah, they take up like 75% of her couch, the 2 of them, when you walk into her house. They have like a full nest on about 3/4 of this couch.
It is, I say, it's the koi pond effect. It's like their space will grow the more space you give them, you know? So between their dog beds, heating pads, and blankets, they got too big. So I was like, oh, well, we can just add like a couple more parts of this couch. It's now an obscenely large couch.
It looks great. That's my dream couch as like a little kid. You know how you dream about your like fantasy home when you're an adult? Just a big ass couch that's essentially a giant bed in the living room is ideal.
Well, and when you're a kid, like that couch is big enough you could like run across it.
Yeah.
And then fall.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's basically a sunken living room. But so I was waiting because as it happens, you get like a delivery, and then it's like it's on time. Then it's like, and it's an hour, and it's like, yeah, guys, traffic exists.
Yeah,
like of course. So I had to wait and push it for Grace to come deliver it. But okay, I go in there. I have Grace back here in the back house with the 2 heathens,
with both of them who immediately panic as soon as you leave the room. Larry's whining, which I've never heard him whine before.
Oh God!
And it breaks your heart. It's just like the saddest sound you've
just
ever
a
heard.
high pitched squeak.
And the door was open a crack, and he was trying to put his little paw in to open it. I was like, no.
Oh no!
I like you. I'm not mean, but no, you can't do that.
He's evolving. Yeah, Beans will look at like a full archway and go, couldn't fit through that. Larry will be looking at keyhole and be like, if I time it right,
I'm gonna force my way through there.
So I call him the sardine. But anyway, I go in there and leave Grace back here, and it's 3 delivery guys. Okay. And you could tell they're like tired from the end of the day,
had a
right?
whole day.
But they're great. They're coming in. 2 of them bring in like the big piece. And then a minute later, there's one guy going down my cobblestones, rolling in the second one. And I go, oh, here's a wild card. Because I said to him, I was like, you okay there? He goes, I about broke my ankle. And I go, okay, here we go. And he goes, yeah, I'm not as young as these 2 guys. They're younger than me. I'm only young on Tinder.
Whoa. He revealed so much in that one sentence.
He hasn't even gotten the piece to the house.
Whoa. He has set himself up for whatever you are offering to him.
Grace, let me just tell you, that wasn't the second time he said Tinder during this delivery. That took 7 to 8 minutes. Right? Okay. Yeah. So he comes in and he's, you can tell these guys are so over it. He's like, yeah, these youngsters. And like the other guy comes over, just picks up the piece by himself. Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I got a good 10 years on him, only young on Tinder. I go, okay. So anyway, so there's something.
And he uses that line all day long, every single delivery they have.
This is the 15th time they've heard it.
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, he clearly, his responsibility is to stay outside and just break down the boxes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So he's out there, but he's like trying to see what's the skinny inside, like how much I'm like hanging out with him, whatever.
Yeah.
So then he's doing his thing. One of the delivery guys looks at my painting in my kitchen and goes, is that Mr. Bean? And I go, no, it's Pee Wee Herman. Right? And he goes, oh, guy come barreling through the door, goes, Pee Wee Herman is my hero. And I went, oh yeah, he's the best. And he was just like, oh man, well, when I used to get up, these guys don't know nothing about this. They're too young. Meanwhile, the guys that were with him were like 40.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? And he was just like, yeah, I used to watch it. That was the best. I was like, I know, he's an icon in the movies. It's great. And so they're just like laughing at him and rolled his eyes. And then I'm like just trying to get through it, texting you like almost done. And then he just looks at me and he's behind me. He goes, hey, you remember this? I look back. He's just doing the Pee Wee Herman. He's doing the Pee Wee Herman dance. And I go, sure do. I go, ha ha ha, tequila.
And he just said, you better save that for the ladies on Tinder, bud.
Oh, and then he saw my Dolly Parton Playboy.
Oh, no.
He goes, oh, God.
It's adult play place. You're out.
I said, yeah, she doesn't get naked in it. It's just an interview. He goes, oh, I know all about that. I remember that one. These boys don't know nothing about that. I was just like, oh, my God.
I got a question. Who's the oldest one in this group?
Yeah, but who's the youngest on Tinder?
Wow.
So anyway, I came back here and was like, Grace, do you have any cash? I need to tip these guys, which I'll Venmo you for, by the way.
Don't worry about it.
And I was just wanted to be like, I'm already having a vibe going on up there.
This guy, I mean, he knows that he only has so much time. He's got a small window in every delivery, so he's got to go in, put on the charm,
He's the ringer.
see what happens, and then move on.
And he was the only one not in a Joybird uniform, which made me go like, I was like, did you guys just get like a day worker? Because one guy got COVID and now you're like, this guy, we said we'd pay him $200 for the day and he won't stop talking.
It's one of their dads that's an uncle that
totally.
they're just like, oh, we needed someone to fill in.
Uncle Ronnie. So anyway, that was my 10 minutes before we started recording.
Oh, I love it. Speaking of age gaps, I learned something this week.
Okay.
Do you know what the Millennial Pause is?
No, it sounds like a parody of a Star Wars Pets thing.
It is. Yeah, I posted a TikTok this week and I saw people commenting, you have the Millennial Pause or Millennial Pause.
To you?
And I looked it up. I was like, what is this? It's got a full Wikipedia entry.
Okay.
So it is a barely perceptible pause that is present at the start of some recorded videos. The practice, including such a pause, is generally ascribed to millennials.
No.
And it's an example of the digital generation gap between millennials and younger generations. Here's the theory. It's been conjectured that the reason why older users tend to include a pause at the start of their videos is that they pause to make sure that the device that they are using is actually recording before beginning to say anything, in contrast with younger users who are said to trust that the devices are working correctly and begin speaking immediately after the recording begins.
Oh my God. Like, let us live. Let us live, man. I finally said fuck you with the middle part and got the bangs back. But I mean, like, look, it's not like you and I are going on there and doing the whole, oh my God, I was going to say we don't do the whole like look around awkward beat before Instagram Live, but any live stream we've ever done just starts with us staring into the abyss for about 30 seconds.
Constantly unsure how to use technology successfully.
The Millennium
But the other theory is that it's a pause amongst older users. It's a habit that was first adapted when earlier recording devices, which took a split second to begin recording, and that although newer devices do not exhibit the same delay, the habit is hard to break. And so now
look, we paused so you guys could run.
And also, you have to imagine, and you can only imagine because you didn't live in a world in which you didn't have technology.
Yeah.
And you got new technology and you didn't trust that it worked immediately. And so you do have to check and make sure that everything is going okay.
Everything's happening. I mean, back in the day, you used to have to sit for minutes to get a picture.
Right. Also, we're like editing. The video I posted was edited. So it wasn't like a live stream of me like,
wait, and they're still saying that you still take a pause?
Yeah, that in the beginning, I'm still looking to see if something... I think I'm just not trying to start a clip with half a word said
I think, but it must be like the younger generation when they're TikToking. They must be like, the way you scroll up, if you don't get them in the first 1 second, they're going to keep scrolling.
Right. It's been...
Wow.
So Taylor Swift was one of the first people that they started to point out that her videos included a millennial pause in the beginning.
I'll take it.
And so you might see this happen more to you if you pause things, but I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think so either.
But I do feel...
Take a breath. Recognize, is this someone I follow or is this a sponsored post before you start talking?
And especially...
God,
I don't know what my hands are actually pushing on my phone when I'm trying to record something. So yeah, I'm going to be very observant of whether something's actually recording, because the amount of times that I have hit record and it hasn't recorded are enough to make me pause and make sure that everything is going smoothly. And also,
tell them.
I look, I love being seen by the younger generation, but we don't need to point out all of these attributes.
We sure don't. We're so bullied.
Yeah.
So bullied.
I know. Guys, we are embarrassing. That's inherent.
That's fine.
We know it.
It's just
we carry this shame with us constantly.
But the thing is I feel like another thing about millennial is that you stop being embarrassed as easily. So now it's kind of like, well, what you got? Yeah. Because like... like you leave your embarrassment in your early 30s.
Yeah. And they're very obsessed with us, I think.
Yeah. Why are you so obsessed with me?
But this is a phenomenon that has caused some millennials to question whether they are becoming too old.
Those people did not have self-confidence to begin with. I'm sorry. Like, if that gets you, don't be bullied. Don't be bullied.
Do you hear that? Yeah, that is your sign this year to finally forget about those run-of-the-mill resolutions and instead start your own New Year's resolutions. Start selling on Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're selling, I don't know, socks or socks for dogs. Shopify simplifies selling online and in person so you can focus on successfully growing your business. Shopify covers every sales channel from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform. It even lets you sell across social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. It's packed with industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth. Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand without having to learn learn any new skills in design or code. Heyo. And thanks to their 24/7 help and an extensive business course library, Shopify is there to support your success every step of the way. What is the most incredible thing to me about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, they're there to empower you with confidence and control to revolutionize your business and take your business to the next level. Now it's your turn to get serious about selling and try Shopify today. This is Possibility powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/weird, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/weird to take your business to the next level today. Again, shopify.com/weird. Yeah.
Speaking of generations, though.
Yeah.
My mom came and stayed the night with me on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was good. So she was on her way, basically going to Australia. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, why don't I get you a ticket to LA and stay a night before we have you continue on to Australia? Just to like
smart.
take
Break
a
it up.
breath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's 72 years old. So she got in on Saturday and it was perfect. You know, hung out with the pups. We just kind of like got to-go food and couched it.
She got to meet Larry. That's great.
Got to meet Larry. She was very excited. These two, oh God. So it was very, very cute. But two things that stood out to me while she was here is one, she said something. We were talking about like bad TV and, you know, like, oh, I can't stand, you know, it's kind of like how we'd call it hate watch.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where it'd be like, oh, well, this is terrible. Yes. Did I crush Bling Empire New York on Friday night in one sitting?
I've considered it. I am
get in there.
I'm into The Circle right now.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
Surprisingly emotional.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
Isn't it all singles this year? Or something like
no.
that? Okay.
It's. I mean, their avatars are, but not in real life.
Oh,
yeah. So
twist.
That's the whole point of The Circle is you can be whoever you want in The Circle.
I know. Our friend Rachel was on there.
Yeah.
Which was so funny.
I missed that season. That one I didn't watch.
I didn't watch that season either, but it was so funny because she's like a very successful producer. She's a producer for Smosh. Yeah, she's on camera. She's hilarious. And she's like, yeah, but I play the accordion. So all they said is, here's like, they wanted me to bust out the accordion for every promo shot. She's like, I'm not a professional
I'm not
accordion player. Like, let me have. Oh, and she also does like talking head stuff for like sci-fi shows. Oh, yeah. For ghost stuff. And it also said like ghost hunter and accordionist. Rachel. She's like, cool. Thanks, guys. But anyway, my mom, we were talking about shows like that, and she just says to me, oh, I enjoy things that I hate quite a bit.
She gets us.
And I was like, I just love, she goes, I enjoy things that I hate quite a bit. And I was like, oh, that's
profound.
That sounded so lovely the way you put it. I just call like hate watching.
I know, when I try to describe it, it sounds like I'm like torturing myself by putting myself through this thing that I genuinely know deep down I don't enjoy. So why am I doing it? So why don't I just admit that I enjoy
things that I hate quite a bit. There was that, but then the other thing that killed me, and I'm only saying it because I know said person won't listen to the podcast. Okay. Is so we're on our way home from the airport, and of course it takes a million years. And we're talking about, you know, like she's like, oh, let me text so and so, because you know, as soon as she's leaving to go to Australia, it's like every person she's ever gone to church with is like, let us know when you got there. You know, like whatever. It's so cute. But so she's talking about a childhood friend of mine that she's still close with. Okay, like, you know, as a close friend growing up, and so they still will get like lunch once a year and like, you know, catch up, even though like her and I don't really talk, you know. So she's so sweetly, you know, saying how they're, you know, talking back and forth about, you know, going to see my brother Dave and this and that and everything she's saying. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. You know, tell her I said hi. And it's really sweet that you guys still have that relationship and whatnot. And she goes, I know. She goes, it's really special to me. There's just one thing. And I go, what? She goes, she always calls me a sexy MILF.
This person calls your mom a sexy MILF?
I think she means it. And like oh, you like hot lady.
Like, get it,
but
girl.
My mom's like, I don't like it.
She's being like fondled emotionally.
My mom is just like, I know what it stands for, and I just don't know how to say, you know, we don't have to say that.
We can find a different nickname to encourage me.
Well, hey, you sexy MILF. MILF? You going to see Babe? She's like, God.
Well, that's pretty heavy-handed because MILF implies that you are fuckable.
Yes.
And so
I said, Mom, I know it's a compliment.
Like, are there unsexy MILFs out there?
I don't know. Maybe unattractive, but also I'm just like, she definitely knows what it stands for, and yet she's kind of taken out the acronym and just uses it as a sign of affection.
Respect.
It kills me.
I mean, I don't think I've ever sincerely or earnestly or anything other than comically called someone a MILF.
It just grosses me out.
It's not something I'm into.
No.
As a term of endearment.
No, and I love the rapper Young Gravy, and he always talks about how he's into MILFs.
Yes.
If he doesn't have a record named MILF Money, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I also hate the term DILF.
Yeah, that one, the sound of that DILF is hilarious.
Well, two things. MILF sounds really close to milk.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, auga. Like big boobs. Big boobs. So, look at that MILF. And it's like, ugh, is she still producing? Gross.
What do you do when you actually see the word milk?
I know. Well, and then DILF, it sounds like you're starting to say dildo.
Yeah, it does. And it sounds like almost like the word is farting at the end of it.
DILF.
Yeah. Words that end in F are very silly sounding to me.
Like I feel like you could meet like an old, big, like gross man and be like, the name's DILF Roberts.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird, pervy old man. It sounds like maybe the name of the guy that came and delivered your couch.
Oh my God, he's DILF on Tinder, I'm sure. God, that killed me. So anyway, I was like, Mom, well, that's understandable. And I think maybe in person you could go, knock it off with the MILF stuff.
Yeah, I think it is. You're not going to hurt her feelings. No. It will be awkward maybe for a second. But I think quickly you guys could come up with some alternatives.
Absolutely.
That are just as encouraging about your mom's figure. Well, I saw this before I left my house that someone had tweeted at us the thread that's going pretty popular right now.
Oh, okay.
This person, Macy, had tweeted to mourn the loss of sexy M&Ms.
Oh my God. What's
going on? They're getting rid of them as mascots because they're controversial.
I don't even know. I think it was something stupid like Tucker Carlson
did a whole segment on it because he's got lots of time
just popping Adderalls up his butthole and like spewing out nonsense for 50 minutes a day.
Awful human.
So I don't really even know what the war on hot M&Ms was. The true MILFs, an M&M I'd like to find.
See, it rolls off the tongue. This person says to mourn the loss of sexy M&Ms, here's a ranking of the most fuckable cartoon brand mascots. Okay.
Bring it on me.
So let's see what you think about this.
Cartoon brand mascots. Okay,
they have number 1, Jolly Green Giant.
He is built. Yeah. And I mean, as a vegetarian, like we would just make sense. He's very tall for you.
Massive. And he wears, I didn't realize, a tiny little toga made of leaves, but it only hits like literally right below the hips.
Yeah, he's got good thighs.
Really good. Lots of muscles.
And just in general, if like the go-to adjective for your personality is jolly, let's hang.
And he totally embraces his large size. Yeah. Doesn't downplay it at all.
I bet he smokes weed.
Oh, he's green head to toe.
Okay.
He's covered in leaves. Okay, they say number 2, Wendy from Wendy's. This I feel uncomfortable about because she seems like a child.
Well, very, very young. And then also like, has there been an ad campaign where like Wendy's is straight up like moving and talking? Like I just see her as like a potato stamp.
Right. I also feel like we're like a whisper away from them giving us like
Gen Z
Wendy that's grown up now.
Like Wendy with 2 E's.
Like the Mr. Peanut reverse.
Don't even. If Mr. Peanut is on that list, I will kick the camera.
This person did not include Mr. Peanut because they said that they are not into him.
Okay, good.
Next, Mr. Clean.
Well, yes, I don't think Mr. Clean is into my type.
No, he's got one beautiful earring in his left ear that forget
shirt is pristine.
Shines. They have a little added sheen on the earring.
But like Mr. Clean, I would absolutely hang out with.
Yeah.
In Palm Springs.
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
transported there.
Yeah, I can picture him.
Oh my God.
Literally picking up our drunk asses and putting them in an Uber.
And then you wake up to a clean kitchen.
The perfect weekend date. I'm not into the animals. They have Toucan Sam.
No.
See, I don't go for any of the animal situations.
Look, I'm not above saying, oh, yeah, Scar was sexy.
Okay.
Or you know how much I used to watch The Lion King? Because it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas's voice.
Yes.
Although I like anyway. I'm not above saying an animal spokesperson is hot, but not Toucan Sam.
No, not Toucan Sam. I don't know what his deal was. Fruit Loops? Was he? He was like borderline.
Was he also one of those ones that was like a meth head for the cereal?
Yeah, he was like, I'm wacky.
Was he like,
I think so. A lot of these characters are pretty high strung. This one, not so much. Mr. Pringle.
Okay. I feel like he is married.
Well, I looked him up.
They say there's Mr. Clean, okay.
Mr. Pringle's full name is Julius Pringles.
I think I knew that.
We might have talked about this. This feels like a deep dive I might have done previously.
I like his work, and obviously I love a mustache.
Right, and they say that his recognizable bushy mustache, if you look closely enough, it's always resembled 2 Pringle crisps put together.
Well, 2 things. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now it all makes sense. Also, that reminds me of when we wouldn't stop talking about capybaras, when people just kept sending us
Still
the
to
meme
this day, we get them all.
that Post Malone's mustache looks like 2 capybaras kissing.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Pringle, I'll let you have it only because I don't want to be age exclusive.
But also with Chip, looking the way Chip does, I feel like Mr. Pringle might be an obvious.
And because Pringles are chips.
They're not chips. They're actually not made with potato, and
At all?
They have to be called crisps instead.
I
like
thought
the
they
FDA.
were I thought they were how instant mashed potatoes, but instead they hyperbolic press it
something
into
like
a chip
that.
form.
So they can't be considered because there's no actual potatoes or something in them, so they can't be considered chips by FDA regulations.
That's really sad.
Okay, next Kool-Aid Man. That guy's a little too aggressive for me, I think.
Kool-Aid Man is doing all your coke.
Yeah, no, he's already done it.
He's already done it.
He's gone next door to find more, and he hasn't used the door.
Yeah, I'm not hanging out with Kool-Aid Man. Also, my favorite Kool-Aid Man was the one that was actually someone in a costume running through a wall who's not animated.
Oh, right.
Animated Kool-Aid Man, he's a little more chill. But once they put a human in a costume, you're not getting your safety deposit back.
Also, what was the campaign? It was that the juice was so good it burst through your wall when you thought about it.
I don't know if the flavor arrived so quickly to your taste buds that they went crazy, or if it was if you make Kool-Aid, your neighbors are going to come over so fast.
Yeah. You're going to need some home reno.
That's Larry trying to get into any room.
Okay, Cocoa Puffs Cuckoo Bird. This one is a bit too much. Another coked out creature.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if I trust your taste in men.
Yeah.
In general, I think you guys go for the bad boy. I've recently been watching The Hills again, and it sounds like you guys are going for the Jasons and the Spencers.
Wow. I mean, and look at Spencer now.
He is the Toucan Sam.
They do evolve.
Oh, God.
And then this person says, lastly, of course, new M&Ms, which get 0 out of 10, but Brown can still text me, though.
Whoa.
That's what this person says. And then they make a little footnote, aka another tweet, addressing key concerns. Sorry if I forgot Tony the Tiger.
See, he's sexy. First of all, he's built.
Well, his voice just sounds more our age.
It sounds
than
more our age.
All the rest. Mm-hmm. And then this person says, not into Mr. Peanut. And Pillsbury Doughboy obviously feels off limits.
Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy feels small. But let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I feel like this is a recently cartoon one.
Yeah.
How are we leaving off Gordon's Fisherman?
Oh, wow. That's
and
a
the
dilf.
Brawny Man.
That's a what do you call a gilf grandfather? Gilf.
No, you know what it is? It's a fisherman I'd like to filth.
Yeah.
Filth.
Filth.
He's filthy.
He's filthy.
Okay, I mean, y'all listening? Fucking
Whoa.
Google image Gordon's Fisherman. He's hot as hell.
Yeah, he is. And I also appreciate that he is of a certain age.
Yes, and also it's a deliberate sly to the brawny man, the
Yeah,
ultimate
that's another
hot
one.
guy. I mean, like what?
Bounty paper towels. Is it Bounty or Brawny?
It's Brawny. It's Brawny.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand how you make a hot animated dude list and you're putting on the fucking Cocoa Puffs guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Two birds? We needed 2 birds on this list?
2 birds that are coked out of their bird brain.
2 birds both stoned.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, Team I'm gonna respond.
Yeah, and
send me the link.
I forgot about the Jolly Green Giant. That was the big takeaway for me that I forgot, and I hope that he's still out there selling green beans. What's he all about? What's he selling? What's green that he's selling? He's selling canned green beans.
The way you looked at it and said green beans? So innocently.
I felt like for a second I was on some game show that's like, tell us what the Jolly Green Giant is the mascot of, and it's like so obvious, but it's got to be wrong.
He does all vegetables of all sorts. He does canned vegetables, but then he also now does a lot more freezer vegetables.
Oh.
I'm talking cauliflower rice, girl.
Whoa, okay.
I'm talking like butternut squash spirals.
Shit, okay.
He's really, I mean, he stays with the times.
Oh, wow, yeah, I'm looking at, there's an image of the evolution of the animation of Jolly Green Giant, and
Yeah.
wow.
He's come a long way.
He started out looking a little bit like a Hulk.
Yeah.
A little rougher on the edges, and they've toned him up a little bit.
They've finessed it. Wow. Okay.
Whew.
Wow. All right.
Worth checking in with every now and then.
It's pretty good stuff, man.
Sorry, that caught my attention before I left the house.
I didn't think I'd get that worked up.
Yeah, it makes you think.
You know, 1 minute you're watching a furniture delivery guy do the Pee Wee Herman in your living room, and the next you are screaming about how hot Gordon Fisherman is.
Yeah, you're going. You put some respect on the Gordon Fisherman's name.
He works hard.
He is out there. That is a life or death job. What he is doing.
It is not easy to pull off head to toe yellow.
Yeah. What's the reality show where they go fishing, deep sea fishing or something?
Killer crabs. No. Deadliest cat. Killer crab.
Killer crab.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Okay. You know, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/this might get weird. Grace does amazing entries.
And this Saturday I'm hosting a live stream. Yep. Barflies. We are going over the book The Mountain Is You. So feel free to join in on that, even if you haven't read the book.
What time is it?
2 p.m. Pacific.
Great.
On Saturday. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing, and that's the best part. It's going to be a fun hang.
When I do it, it's literally just me like scream talking at just in the chat. You're just in the chat hanging out.
And I'll have a fresh lob.
Wait,
at
you
that
will?
point. Friday, I'm getting my hair cut. So
my God.
hopefully see how that goes.
Barflies is the lob debut. And for you guys who are thinking about joining Barflies, it's literally just any tier on Patreon, which start at $5.
Yep.
So yeah, go check that out.
And Mamrie will be hosting one next month.
I will. I got to choose the book before you. I should choose the book before yours so you can like announce it on yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
All right. I'll get in on it. It's truly, I'm so bad at it. But now that Retrograde is out,
Yep.
I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Woo!
Oh, this got weird.
Uh-huh.